And we're back already, back with the final game of the night for HTC Ascension between Frostbite and Cloud9 Challenger. They're tied 1-1 apiece. The game goes to 3, which means 3 minus 2 equals 1 game left, which means this is the final game. Math is hard, but I did it anyway. High five to myself. I'm Joshua Piscatorli here alongside Bill Carter to bring you the final game of the night.
I heard a 1 in there, so I think I'm going to say that I catapulted to the first best friend that anyone ever had.
We'll talk about that later. We got to focus on the game.
Okay, fine. Game indeed. Kalista Tom Catch Gangplank being banned away. We do have a side swap, so a reflection of Game 1. We're going to have Frostbite on the blue side, as well as Cloud9 Challenger on the red. Kalista Tom Catch Gangplank being banned away. Kindred and Lulu as well, waiting and searching on that last ban. It's going to be the Elise coming out. What are we going to see being prioritized on the side of Frostbite now?
I mean, it pretty much means they automatically pick Rek'Sai, and there it is. Billy locks in Rek'Sai on behalf of Harry Apps, but Cloud9 had to have seen this coming. They have to have some sort of plan in the works.
They do. They left Fiora open, so that can get back into the hands of Solo if he decides to do so. We talked a little bit about how the Gragas can do something if he tries to do so as well. Tristana is open. Keith McBrief can get that into his hands as well as the Jinx. So there's a lot of options they can do. Braum as well. We missed this in the last game, but Braum is available. They can take that away from Akuho. It proved a lot of success. Boom, da da ding. Chicken. Well, it's winner, chicken dinner. I can get a quote right at some point in the time. Fiora and Braum being locked in for Cloud9 Challenger. Reflections of the last one. I like this. I really like this decision to do these.
And Billy didn't find much success on that, but Solo gonna go for a second go. Lost the first game pretty handily at the hands of Billy on that Renekton. We'll see if he picks up that Renekton again, because we know that's a pick he's been falling back to whenever he's facing a Fiora in the top lane. Went really well the 3 games he did play in HTC Ascension so far, and it still is open, and they have an opportunity to kind of hide their team comp a bit if they opt to lock in their top lane and support, not really expose a whole lot more. Right now, they're taking their time taking away this Jinx, though.
They do. There's a lot of options they could have employed, but what better way to just stick to something safe, stick to something that works? Going to take Jinx away from Keith McBrief. They don't want that into his hands. So they're just going to secure the Morgana again for Hakuho, as well as the Jinx for the Massacre. So kind of sticking to their guns a little bit. Very solid picks right now. And this is where we're going to see the team composition of Cloud9 Challenger really decide to take a turn for better or for worse. There's a lot of options that they can employ. They can stick ManCloud on that victory again. It is open. It is a possibility. Or they can try to change something down to an Orianna, maybe even try to get ManCloud on something a little bit more aggressive. But instead, they're going to prioritize that jungler, getting Chow onto that Gragas. He did a phenomenal job last game. Going to try to do a repeat process for Game 3.
Right, Chow making an absolutely huge place with the explosive cast and the body slam. So Keith McBrief responding to tower pressure with tower pressure of their own. We could see some early towers going down at the beginning of this game. Who does it better than Tristana? Jinx does it pretty good as well. But you can't deny the fact that this girl takes down towers so fast. In addition, Keith McBrief going to have a lot of peel for himself in the situation that Harry Epps tries to dive on him on that Rek'Sai. Last 2 picks waiting to be locked in on behalf of Frostbite's side. See exactly what mid laner and top laner they choose to pick up.
I love the decision to stick Keith McBrief onto Tristana. They banned it away in Game 1. They know how strong it is. They know how strong he is. He has been playing so much Tristana, not only in solo queue, but in the competitive scene. He loves making sure to provide that pressure. And when you pair him with someone like a Braum onto the winter, that just does such wonders for you as you are into the early game. You're able to push those towers. You transition that around, and you just go with this North American style, pressure, push, get as many towers as you can, and try to get that advantage accordingly.
Whoa.
But uh-oh, it looks like the Dunk Master Darius is going to come back, being put into Billy Boss's hands, as well as a decision to stick Wolf back onto that Xerath. I love this decision by them to do so. He succeeded to numerous heights in Game 1. Did such a great job at being able to poke them out. The Lux game wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't phenomenal. The Magi's not working out, but sticking him on the Xerath, very smart decision.
It kind of does a little bit of what Lux does as well, but has that increased range and the ability to make picks with that Rite of the Arcane. But a good blend of both pick and team fighting power coming out of Frostbite's side. We know in the last game, they were pretty much relying all on pick and short skirmishes, but they were never able to get their team to a point where they can start snowballing and start one-shotting people. But the last pick ready to be locked in on behalf of Cloud9 Challenger. We saw ManCloud go absolutely filthy bananas, blomping all over Frostbite's team with that Victor, and that's gonna be the lock-in. Victor comes out yet again.
I like the term bonkers. I think that's a much better. He went bonkers into that game. No, he played a phenomenal. ManCloud went man mode, played a phenomenal Victor into that game, was able to flash over, got that double kill, actually destroying the perfect KDA over the last 4 games that Hakuho was able to rack himself up. Another strong team fight composition coming out of Cloud9. This is something they prioritize themselves with, but the struggle that they faced in the last game was really having a problem getting into the team and having the trouble. Now they're going against a team that wants you to come to them. They want you to try to do that. You have the poke coming out from Wolf, as well as the struggle of getting past the juggernaut that is Darius, the struggle that you're going to face getting into him. So I want to see how this top lane works up. We've seen the Darius Fiora matchup time and time again. It's not something that we're unused to. So with the pressure that both Chow and Harry Abs can apply, which one's going to come out on top? Which one will emerge victorious of this best of 3?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer. I guess the best way to find out is to get into our game. Will Cloud9 ride their momentum into the final game of this series and come out victorious, continuing their undefeated streak throughout HTC Ascension? Or will this Darius pick on behalf of Frostbite be a slam dunk for them, or an airball? You are watching HTC Ascension. Be sure to tweet at us at HTC Esports on Twitter. Let us know what you're thinking about the tournament, in addition to any predictions, comments, or if you just want to joke around, have some fun with us. We're friendly people generally, unless you're Jump, my 11th favorite person in the world. I'm Joshua Piscatorli here alongside Bill Jump Carter. When we come back, it's our final game of the night. Cloud9 Challenger versus Frostbite. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final game of HTC Ascension tonight between Frostbite and Cloud9 Challenger. One of these teams will leave undefeated throughout the duration of the tournament, and one of these teams will leave defeated. Period. End of sentence. On the blue side this time, we have Frostbite again. Billy in the top lane, Harry Abs in the jungle, Wolf in mid lane, the Massacre 8 on AD carry, and Hakuho on support.
Out of all of the lucrative words you could have come up with, out of all of the imaginative adjectives you could have decided, you just decided one wins and one loses.
Just introduce the red team jump before you drop down to number 20 on my list, I swear.
Oh my god. Cloud9 Challenger on the red side for game 3. Solo in the top lane, Chow in the jungle, Man Cloud in the mid, Keith McBrief and the Winter rounding out the bot lane. Let's get it going. Let's get underway. I did your introductions. I did what you wanted. Now it's time to rock and roll.
See, now that you understand how this relationship works, things are going to go a lot more smoothly, okay?
Oh my
I'm the boss. You're the not boss. My adjectives are really weak tonight.
We need to work on adjectives.
Let's get at the source really quick.
Let's start reading a dictionary and figuring out some things to do. Figuring out things to do is exactly what Frostbite is deciding to do now. There is no vision to know exactly where these teams are going to start. So what are they going to do? They're going to go straight for the lane swap. TM8 as well as Hakuho are going to shift themselves into the top lane. They're going to get the pressure. And this is going to work out in favor of both teams pretty much because there comes a time where Solo is going to be able to hit that level 7, hit that level 9 spike, and really start to out damage a lot of the possibilities. And Keith McBrief, along with the Winter, are going to be able to just crank down these turrets in this lane swap. I want to see how aggressive Frostbite is going to be, since they know that the tower pushing potential of a Tristana is pretty darn scary.
In addition, Keith McBrief gonna get that. Keith McBrief and Winter are gonna get that grab done a little bit quicker, given that they did receive the smite help from Chow. I guess it really depends on which team reads this rotation first and really reacts to that fast tower push. Hakuho on the roam right now, trying to spot out Chow on that jungle pad. Not able to find anybody just yet, as Massacre is soaking up that solo XP for now. Winter doing the same thing in the bot side jungle of Frostbite. No eyesight just yet. That means they might play a little more cautiously until they get vision.
They might have to, but Wolf in the mid lane continuously applying pressure. Oh, but that pressure might be to no avail if two members are coming
level
into
2
the
gang. Everybody here for the assistance, though. My goodness, these guys getting frisky at such an early time. We haven't even had dinner yet.
We haven't had dinner. You haven't bought me a drink. You haven't even said your name or given any kind of introduction. You just full force come in and just wreak havoc on the night. That's exactly what Cloud9 is trying to do right now, because the Wolf, we saw Wolf go off in game 1. That Xerath is very scary, and you can already see the pressure that he provides is just, he's forcing upon forcing the pops of ManCloud to try to do something. It's that pressure that's really going to push them. But Cloud9 responding. 4 members in the bot lane now. They're cranking away at this turret.
Cloud9 with the 4-man attack on the turret. That wave finally going to arrive before Solo takes too many tower shots. This just might be neck and neck, deciding who exactly takes the tower first. This is pretty much the game of, all right, can they bounce the wave properly? Can they get these wave setups so our top laners don't starve for the next 10 minutes of the game? Turrets are exchanged in both the bot and top lane. We'll see where both of these teams take it from here on out.
They're going to have to do it. I want to see if they're going to institute a second lane swap to try to get something down. You see this in some scenarios. They'll send the bot lane that was initially bot back to the top to try to apply some more pressure. That's exactly what they're doing now. It was a decent bounce of the wave there in favor of Cloud9, but the fast response by TM8 as well as Akuho in the bot is just going to force Solo to back himself off, try to get something. The other members of Cloud9 consistently pushing and trying to do something. You see Chow roaming around into the bot. They might try to just get something, if anything, but these constant go-outs, these constant drag-outs is exactly what they're looking for.
And Winter looking for something to do along top side too, but gets pinged out by the members of Frostbite. Interesting item buys coming out of both of the AD carries on both teams, however. Massacre opting to go for the Avarice Blade, while Keith McBreve just wanting to do tons and tons of damage, picking up that early pickaxe.
It's just a decision whether or not you want to be aggressive or do you want to sit and farm. And Keith McBreve is saying, I want to be aggressive. Tristana, as we know, takes towers phenomenally well at all stages of the game. So getting that extra damage into that pickaxe, allowing him to push himself up and try to get something is vitally important. He's not going to be able to freeze this wave here as Tristana just inevitably pushes wave, especially considering that he does already have 3 points out of the max 5 into that explosive charge. So he's going to be looking to do something. And look, Chow and the Winter both lurking around in the tri-bush. They're going to want to push this down. This is the strategy that they've employed. Push towers, try to get as far ahead as you can in map pressure. They're doing it, and this pickaxe is really trying to prove that point.
All right, showing themselves at the last possible second to deny as much information from Frostbite as possible. They finally get started on this tower. The Massacre just a couple of auto attacks away from taking down this bot tower. So a couple of early towers being taken by both teams in this game. Really wanting to open up the map and the gold spikes early on. No fights happening thus far. Bit of a failed gank in the mid lane as everybody met each other 4v3. But other than that, only aggression really coming on each other's buildings.
On each other's buildings, indeed. You look at the flame. Just we might actually see this.
Gets tagged up a lot. Actually flashes out. Wolf was very low on mana, and the Arcana Pulse was still on cooldown. ManCloud gonna respect it anyway, given that the blue buff was taking for a good amount of time. But Solo, the Ignite is on. Harry Abs goes in, gets the first blood on behalf of Frostbite. There it is. After 4 towers go down, we finally have our first kill.
Finally, it seems like 7 minutes is a long, long time as Harry Abs is able to secure that kill. It forced out the flash, but it doesn't matter as that advantage is going to be huge. Keith McBreve
gets sniped in between the minions. Hakuho, what a sniper! Doesn't manage to get out in time. Burns the flash anyway, but to no avail. Winter's the next one on the menu. The bind misses. Mistimes the juke. He takes a lot of damage. Chow sitting around the outside trying to provide some sort of assistance, but a level 4 Gragas can't do much against a team with 4 players on a tower. We're past 7 minutes for the champion. Damage reduction on towers has been blown apart. We're pounding away. This tower getting very low early on. Harry Abs looking for the damage. Looks like Chow coming around for the backside. So much CC landing. Here comes the teleport. 3-man body slam coming out of Chow. Oh my gosh, the Chaos Storm is absolutely melting. Winter going very low. He goes down. Solo backing up, looking for cooldowns, but it looks like Massacre finds himself a double kill in the midst of all of that. Keith McBreve trying to jump forward, looking for kills on all of these low targets. Give me the resets, he says. 1 auto attack, just a couple more, but Billy gets out just in time. No more kills to be found from Cloud9 as Frostbite extend their kill lead in the early game to 4-1.
Pushing, pushing, pushing. We talk so much about how Tristana can apply the pressure, but instead, it's not 1, it's not 2, it's every member of Frostbite doing their diligent duties and pushing themselves forward. If there's something we didn't want to see in the first game, it was what? C TM8 rolling. What is he doing in game? What did he do in game 1? He got rolling. What is he doing in game 3? He's rolling 3, 0, and 1. 100% kill participation. Absolutely doing work. He now has the advantage over on Keith McBrief, and we talked a lot about how if a Twitch gets going, it's scary, but my God, it's even scarier once a Jinx can just crank rockets away at your face and things get scary. Less than 9 minutes into the game, 2,000 gold into the pockets of an advantage coming out here for Frostbite. They are the ones that stumbled in game 2, and they want to reclaim the throne that they put themselves on top for game 1, and they're doing it pretty darn well already this early in the game.
And this back timing worked out so well for the Massacre as well, not electing to pick up that early pickaxe like Keith did, enabled him to go back with all of those extra kills and the extra Avarice gold to pick up that BF at under 9 minutes into the game. Gonna pull ahead and farm as he picks up his wave and a half here, while the rest of Cloud9 gonna start on this dragon instead. Harryap's acutely aware of the fact that they're wanting this dragon. Hakuho trying to do his best to keep them off of it for as long as possible. Don't take this down very fast. They're taking a lot of dragon damage. Winter, gets blown up. The Massacre goes on a rampage at 9.5 minutes into the game, and now it's their turn to turn on this dragon. 5-1 in kills. First dragon of the game goes into their pocket, and Frostbite. It's like these teams ping pong back and forth saying who's going to show the better performance. It's Frostbite's turn so far.
They are 0 to 100 real quick. This game has just blown itself out of proportion. The Chaos Storm.
It's a lot of damage. ManCloud going so low. Billy gets stunned up by the edge of the gravity field, but manages to make it out of tower aggro just in time. Here comes Chow. Here goes down Chow. Hakuo getting a kill there. Keith forced a rocket jump out to save his own life. So many towers have gone down in the first 10 minutes of this game. This is going to be the 5th of the game going under the name of Frostbite. They're going to take their backs. Get a little bit of a shopping spree there. Can they keep this snowball rolling?
They're just doing everything in all the right places. You look at it across the board, and outside of the mid lane, the XP advantage that they have is unbelievable. Not only are they taking turrets, but they're also putting Cloud9 in such a difficult spot. Billy is almost 2 entire levels above Cloud9 solo right here. This is just not what he wants to be. It's not the position that he's even thinking about being in right now. 0, 0, and 4. He went ahead and got the early Ninja Tabbies to help provide a lot of extra protection and dueling against solo. Not only that, but you also have 4, 0, and 7 on Massacre. He is doing his own version of a Massacre and just thrashing everything that Cloud9 is throwing onto it. He has gone for a lot more of an early power spike. He went for the early Berserker's Greaves. He now has a little bit of extra damage in the pickaxe and BF sword, and he's the one now that's just pushing, and applying as much humanly pressure as possible.
Gotta shoot fast with my best friend sword.
Dun, dun, dun.
Here, I was gonna see this big old drunk Santa coming around. Here comes Chow acting like he has a lot more backup than he actually has. Just walks into all of them. Harryup's gonna get the last auto attack onto him, but I think Chow thought that he had help a lot closer than he actually did. That was a kill on the silver platter.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what Chow was thinking. He just walks right into the team and just destruction ensued from that. Another kill going on to Harryabs. We're talking a lot about how strong TM8 is getting right now, but we also are failing to mention exactly how confident Harryabs is onto Rek'Sai. And when you put him on a champion that he has done absolute wonders with, and you get him ahead, then that's when things are going to start snowballing out of control. He is excuse me, he is up an entire 1,700 gold on the enemy jungler. That is a huge amount, and as a Rek'Sai, if you are able to go and get those items and get these things done, then your utility is going to go up tenfold. He has the Cinderholt completed on the Stalker's Blade. He has the Merc Treads. Now he goes back, gets himself a Sightstone. This is just more pressure that Frostbite could put onto the heels of Cloud9. They are doing it. They're doing it well.
As if losing this much of a goal lead in the early game isn't painful enough. The fact that so much of the map is denied to you from the form of that early vision coming out of Harryup is going to hurt them so much. I mean, look at the pressure that Frostbite is able to put onto Cloud9 Challenger. They're shoving them into their bot lane tier 2 at such an early point in the game. Solo and Billy are going to high-five each other in the jungle before Solo turns tail and runs. Teleport is available on all champions that have it in this game, so we could see a quick fight. The explosive cast completely misses. Not going to happen anything there. Here comes a fight. Winter getting chunked down solo. Massacre finds the auto attack onto them. They trade 1 for 1 so far. ManCloud going low. The dunk onto him. Massacre finds a double kill. Harry Epps on the backside, barely makes away alive. Billy Yu, the rest of them still applying pressure to the rest of Cloud9 Challenger. 2 of their members are down so far. Will this tower follow?
It probably is. It's got little to no health left as more destruction from Frostbite is coming in. They're the ones putting a Winter freeze. The Winter is going down on the support side, but the Winter is coming. Every member of Frostbite is just going full speed ahead right now. There is nothing that Cloud9 Challenger is doing to combat this. The death bush is there. That might be another death.
They're on to solo, so many bleed stacks on him. No dunk just yet. Both the double apprehend into one. Come back here, he says. Winter, the only one facing off against the 3 members of Frostbite, gets tagged up by the Dark Binding that decimate into everything. Wolf finishes him off with the Arcano Pulse, and the rest of Frostbite saying, all right, you guys got the kills there. We got the tower here.
Gonna get it indeed. They're just going to continue to push it down.
Look at these bindings coming out of a
damage. Oh my god, that damage is just unbelievable. And look, Billy Yu is just 1v1 and keeping.
I missed the apprehend, but I'm still gonna chase after you. It doesn't even matter.
Does not care at all. This Darius and every other member are just, they're firing on every note, every key, every cue they're hitting to almost flawless perfection. They're cranking down. They've almost got another turret. They have 4 turrets in less than 15 minutes. That is an astounding job by them. The wave is almost coming up through the mid lane right here. They're going to push. Dragon is spawning in 45 seconds, and Cloud9 Challenger is really going to have to sit back and figure out what the heck are we going to do to get back in this game.
Yeah, seriously, when you're staring at a Jinx that's 6-0-4 at 15 minutes into the game, and your own AD carry is still sitting on the super broke build of Pickaxe and Avarice Blade, kind of sitting there scratching your head saying, it's like when as a kid you made a mess so bad in the kitchen, like you're trying to like reach the top shelf, you knock over all the dishes, and you're just like, what the hell do I do now? Do I just sit here and close my eyes and pretend nothing happened?
So what happened was I was supposedly in the kitchen, and then bad things happened.
Came out.
And I don't know what happened. And that's exactly what Cloud9 Challenger is thinking right now. They stuck their hand, or at least attempted to stick their hand in the cookie jar at the top of the kitchen, and everything came crashing down. 13-2, 8,500 gold, 4 turrets, a dragon, about to be a second dragon. Cloud9 Challenger is in a tough spot.
Tough. That's one way to put it. Let's whip out a thesaurus. Think of other words. Oh man, it's got to feel bad if you're going to go on the AlphaDraft replay channel and find Frostbite just absolutely just dominating you in this 3rd game. To pick up the dragon right there, continuing the snowball on. And it's so interesting seeing the dynamic shift between Game 2, Game 3, and even Game 1. First, we saw Frostbite come out to an early lead in the series. Then we saw Cloud9 Challenger bounce back so decisively. And then all of a sudden, it's like Frostbite, they must have drank their Ovaltine or something, because they are absolutely monstrous. 13-2 ahead in kills, almost 10,000 gold at the 16-minute mark. I haven't seen numbers like this ever.
No, the numbers are just coming out of the woodworks right now. But if you're Cloud9, you have to think, all right, what do we do to get back into this game? There's going to come a point where all of these inner turrets are taken. So the gates, the inhibitor turrets, should we call them, are going to be open. They're going to be there. This is something they have to think about. They have to actually worry about, because that's really...
Right here. Harryhouse gets caught out from the backside, trying to find a dive onto them, but there's a lot of peel to be offered. Winter, look at all the chunking he's taking. Tries to juke out. Oh, all of the long-range ults land on it. The final one, he held on to that just in time. The double kill for Wolf, as Billy on the other side trying to keep the rest of Cloud9 busy. Flashes over the wall. The apprehend. Get back here, he says. The Eye of Destruction onto Solo. There's so many bleed stacks on him. The dunk barely manages to finish him off. The flash forward with the binding. Hakuho making plays all over the place. And that's going to be a split quadra for Wolf. He picks up 2 double kills in that fight. That's a quadra in my book.
That's a quadra indeed. Such a good job all across the board. They are pushing, and again, capitalizing on every little mishap. Keith McGrief gets caught out. Oh, the damage is just unbelievable. 6-0-6 at the AD carry, 6-1-7. I want to touch upon right now, that Wolf has not gone back in who knows how long. He is 6-1-7. He only has an Athene's unholy grail right now. He has 2,700 gold in his pocket. He can just sit and do wonders if he's able to go back and buy some items. And once they do that, once they get these extra power spikes, that's when things are going to start getting crazy. Look at TMA. He doesn't decide to go back and finish his static shiv. He wants damage. He wants to crank out more and more and more. So he goes back, buys a BF sword, and he is just feeling so confident right now.
Keith doesn't even have an Infinity Edge yet. That's when you know you're struggling. The opposing ADC at 6-0 and 6, sitting on essentially 2 items here. A bit of a scattered build, but this massive power spike coming out of Massacre is something that Cloud9 just have no answer to at this moment. Especially with this hidden OP Harry F. Not even hidden OP. 309 on this Rek'Sai. They cannot ignore this big, scary dinosaur coming out their backline time and time again. Baron coming up in 55. This isn't even 20 minutes yet. I feel like this is a game where these are stats and item builds that we see at like the 25, 30-minute mark. Baron hasn't even spawned yet.
It hasn't even come up onto the table as an option. Every member of Frostbite right now are just throwing Cloud9 for a loop. 17-3, 8,000 gold. And look at this. Harry Apps continuously going.
Looks like Billy and everybody on Cloud9 trying to get a piece of this Billy action. Solo a little low on mana. Oh! Does not manage to find the kill there, but it looks like Masker on the opposite side of the map gonna pound down this tower. That's the 6th tower of the game, going into the pocket of Frostbite to the 2 towers that Cloud9 Challenger has currently taken. This map slowly falling apart. If you're Cloud9 Challenger, wards everywhere being scattered by Frostbite as they invade every inch of map that they possibly can.
There's nowhere that Cloud9 Challenger can go without an immediate reaction or an immediate disaster that you see from Frostbite. They've got great vision prioritization. They're a little bit faltering coming through, but the wards are reset. They're trying to get themselves going. You see a teleport now from Billy. Look at this. Look what he's trying to do. He wants to come around. He wants to put the pressure on Solo. He wants to do 2 teleports now. It looks like we're having a party in the bot lane.
Party in the bot lane, party in the USA. Solo on the target. Right at the Arcane. Oh, he pulls him right out of it, but it's not going to matter. Billy Yu trolling his own teammate, but finds the kill nonetheless. Wolf getting a little assist credit there, but it looks like Harry App saying, you know what? This Baron thing seems pretty cool. We should establish our pressure on it right now. Trying to get vision down. They're looking for a pick. Wolf and the rest of them still looking for a rotation over. My goodness, the damage onto Winter. He's forced to flash out. And in the situation where every summoner counts, when you're behind this much gold, 13,000 at 20 minutes. Losing a flash there is pretty much saying, oh my goodness, I'm going to die next fight I get into.
And the pressure that they're creating with their itemization is just really pushing so much through it. Look at this. You have a banner command. Oh, we might have to pause.
Look at this aggression coming out of Frostbite. But onto Winter, but he jumps away to a minion just in time. The Baron is alive. Xiao was down for about 20 seconds. Remember, we're barely 20 minutes into the game, so these respawn timers are still relatively short. Not sure Frostbite wants to take the Baron at this moment, but they're rotating. They're at it with the purpose. They've got a reason to live. They're pounding away at Baron Nashor.
They're pounding away indeed. There's not much of a response that we're seeing out of Cloud9 Challenger. C9 solo as well as ManCloud, but he gets caught.
Oh, ManCloud, oh my gosh. Don't even have time to cast the fight. He just disappears off the face of the planet.
Oh, it's just so much solidified efforts. And what we talked about the other day with, what we talked about earlier today, Hakuho, it seems that every single binding he throws out finds its target and finds it well. That's really what's applying to do this, because they're just chasing.
Oh, so low. Riposte 1, but it's not going to be enough. He has 3 charges of that. Pulls him out of the right of the Arcane again. The Arcana pulse barely misses, but the dunk finds the target. Billy Yu takes him down. And if that wasn't easy enough to take Baron, now things just got a lot easier.
There's nothing they can do to combat it. There's nothing I think they even want to do. There's a 2-level advantage from Harry Abs, so Chao is not going to have an opportunity to do any kind of steal. He might try to get something, but this might be a last-ditch effort.
Such smart rotation coming out of Frostbite to keep any chance of a Baron steal away. Why take a 50-50 when he can make it 100%? There it goes. Oh, the flash forward! Hakuho, you monster!
Picked it up, picked it well, and he doesn't even have any damage. He knows exactly what his role on this team is. It's to be a CC bot. I'm going to land bindings, you're going to kill them, and everybody's going to be happy. 2, 1, and 7, playing the support role to perfection. And Wolf as well, mirroring the exact insane build that he had in game 1, going with the Grail, followed up by the Rylai's 9-1-10. Oh my god.
Chao's constantly been switching back from his actual build to building 5 or 6 tiers. It pretty much speaks a lot to just how Cloud9 are feeling about this game. We see Solo going in against Billy Yu, but even with the Grand Challenge pop, there's nothing that Cloud9 can do at this point. We're looking at a 17,500 gold deficit at the not even 24-minute mark. We're not even 24 minutes into the game. Frostbite already has 24 kills and like 14,000 in gold ahead. My goodness, if this isn't a lead, I don't know anything about this game.
You'd think that plays like this and things like this is something that you would find in the most awkward of situations, but this is game 3. This is for all the marbles of this series. Cloud9, you'd expect them to put up a little bit more of a fight, but right now they're just getting thrashed by Frostbite. Everything that they did in game 2 is just gotten stopped, put in a mailbox, and just shipped away to some foreign land. They're doing it. Look at the damage that TMA is able to pull out. Boom, 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 godlike. 7-0-7 for the Massacre. Doing work, doing it well. And just, that's the epitome. They're running, they're going, but nothing is going to work.
There's not a whole lot to say right now. It's just Frostbite is super fed. Frostbite just runs for it. Look at all the damage. They're able to land these skill shots with such confidence. Doesn't even matter what Cloud9 tries to do.
And a triple kill. I mean, you know,
oh, baby,
by the way, I got a triple kill.
10-0-8 on this Jinx so far. Wolf 10-1-12. Harry Abs 3-0-15. Hakuho and Billy totally feeding here as they both split 3 deaths among themselves. That's going to be the tower. Both of their games ended at 32 minutes thus far, but this one's going to be a lot quicker at the 25-minute mark. They're pounding away at the tower, being sure to spam all their summoners for good measure. All right, I guess get even more kills, I guess. Really solidify your win over Cloud9 Challenger. Both teams came into the series undefeated. One left with an undefeated record. That's going to be Frostbite. Cloud9 goes down for the first time so far in HTC Ascension.
They pick a game off of Frostbite, so they're not perfectly undefeated for every game, but Frostbite stuck to their guns. They went back to the Xerath pick, 10-1-13 for Wolf, and they played an almost flawless Game 3. Such a great job by every member. They out-pressured a pressure team. When you pick a Tristana, you want to apply that pressure. You want to just push these towers. So what did they do? They grouped themselves up, they got the vision, and they were the ones that took the aggressor. TMA finished 12-0-8. Hakuho had over 85-90% accuracy rating on his bindings. Did a phenomenal job. It was a great team effort. It was an even better job by every member to understand their role and understand what they needed to do. This is not the Game 3 we were expecting. This might not have been necessarily the Game 3 that we were wanting, but this is the Game 3 that happened. Frostbite continuing their spree, putting Cloud9 back on the ground.
I mean, taking a look at the damage charge, we know Wolf is super comfortable when he's able to get on these long-range AP mages. He did about triple the damage of the highest person on Cloud9 Challenger. We see ManCloud sitting at about 9,000. Wolf did about 27k. So if my math is correct, which it totally always is, 3 times the amount. They couldn't get near the guy. He had a Rylai's on the top of the large rod coming. Didn't even have time to finish it. But 3,500 gold ahead of his opposing mid laner alone. This was such a dominating victory.
Dominating indeed, and that's going to put Frostbite again on top of the Group A standings, and that's going to be the first loss for Cloud9. Now, with this being said, all hope is not lost. We are in week 2, so there's a lot of wins, there's a lot of losses that could potentially happen, but if you look at the ideal scenario where both of these teams win out, they are going to face themselves again. This is a round-robin style tournament, so Cloud9 will have another shot closer to the end of the group stages to try to pick off a series from Frostbite. But Cloud9 and Frostbite, 2 of the favorites coming into this tournament. Frostbite, in 2 of the 3 games, really put the hurt on Cloud9, and that's something that they're going to have to think about as they go back and really digest what really happened in this series.
Right, we had some fun games tonight, but unfortunately, that is going to be the end of our HTC Ascension broadcast for tonight. We will be back tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Pacific for Team Liquid Academy versus DZG Fire. What? Following that, we're going to have Robert Morris University taking on DZG Storm, the sister team of DZG Fire. Look at me. I did word math. Algebra. I want to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors and everybody who took part in putting this production together. Team Liquid, HTC, in addition to AlphaDraft. If you want to find out more about the tournament or share exactly how you're feeling about what's going on, tweet at HTC Esports using the hashtag HTC Ascension. In addition, check out our contest to see if you can win one of 3 special edition HTC One M9s, specially engraved with the Team Liquid logo. And if you're not lucky enough to win one of those, be sure to use the promotion code HTC Ascension on HTC's website to get a special discount on any one of the special esports editions of the HTC One M9s. But on behalf of myself and the entire broadcast team, production team, and everybody involved with this production, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Pacific. This watch HTC Ascension. I'm Joshua Piscatorli here alongside my favorite person in the world, Bill Jump Carter. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.